Hello, I'm Sebastian. Welcome to 9 Trees podcast. Today, I will summarize and review the book. When by Daniel H. Pink explores a surprisingly practical question. How much does timing shape what we do and how well we do it? Drawing on findings from psychology, biology, and behavioral economics, the book argues that the same task can succeed or fail depending on when it happens. Pink focuses on daily patterns of energy and mood, the science of chronotypes, and the predictable ways performance rises and falls across a day. He also examines timing in groups, showing how schools, workplaces, and health systems can benefit from scheduling that matches human rhythms rather than ignoring them. Beyond the day-to-day, the book looks at beginnings, midpoints, and endings, explaining why these moments exert outsized influence on motivation and memory. Written for readers who want research-based guidance without heavy jargon, when translates academic insights into clear takeaways and decision tools that can help people plan work, learning, exercise, and important life events with more intention and better results. I will give you key takeaways from this book. Firstly, the hidden daily pattern behind performance. A central idea in When is that many people follow a reliable daily rhythm that affects focus, mood, and decision quality. Pink popularizes research, suggesting a common three-part pattern: a peak when analytical tasks go well, a trough when energy and vigilance dip, and a rebound when mood lifts and insight becomes easier. The practical implication is simple but powerful. Match the type of work to the time of day. For many, the peak is best for deep work that requires accuracy, logic, and fewer errors, such as writing, planning, budgeting, coding, or studying dense material. The trough is the danger zone for impulsive choices and sloppy work, but it can still be used for routine tasks, administrative work, or recovery. The rebound can support more expansive thinking, brainstorming, and creative problem-solving. Pink also emphasizes that these patterns are not identical for everyone and can be shaped by sleep, light exposure, and habits. The broader point is that timing is not just a preference, it can be a measurable performance lever. By mapping personal energy and attention cycles, readers can redesign schedules to reduce preventable mistakes and make demanding work feel less like willpower combat. Secondly, chronotypes and the case for a personalized schedule. Pink highlights chronotypes, biological tendencies that influence when people feel most alert. Some are larks who do their best thinking early, others are owls who warm up later, and many fall in the middle. Rather than treating morning productivity as a moral virtue, the book frames it as a biological difference with real consequences for learning, work quality, and health. Pink discusses how chronotype affects not only performance, but also sleep duration, social schedules, and exposure to light. He encourages readers to identify their natural pattern and use it to make smarter decisions about when to do cognitively demanding work, when to hold important conversations, and when to avoid high-stakes choices. For organizations, the message is that one-size-fits-all schedules can inadvertently advantage some groups while penalizing others, especially adolescents whose biological clocks often run later. The concept supports flexible work hours, thoughtful meeting timing, and school start times that align with student alertness. The benefit of this topic is that it converts vague self-knowledge into actionable planning. When timing respects chronotype, people can preserve energy, improve accuracy, and reduce friction without adding more hours or more tools. Thirdly, how beginnings, midpoints, and endings shape motivation. Beyond the clock, Pink explores timing across projects and life stages, focusing on beginnings, midpoints, and endings. Beginnings can create a fresh start effect, a psychological reset that makes change feel more possible. That is why people often commit to new habits at meaningful temporal markers, such as a new week, birthday, or new job. Midpoints are especially interesting because they can spark either a slump or a surge. When people recognize they are halfway, they often reassess progress and urgency, sometimes accelerating effort as the window of time feels narrower. Pink points to research on goal pursuit, showing that awareness of a midpoint can increase motivation, especially when the goal is concrete and progress is visible. Endings, meanwhile, can heighten attention and meaning. They encourage people to finish strongly, but they can also create pressure that distorts priorities. Pink connects endings to the way experiences are remembered, suggesting that the final phase of an event or project often carries extra weight in retrospective evaluation. The practical value is learning to design temporal landmarks intentionally. Start with a clear ritual, create midpoint check-ins that trigger recommitment, and plan endings so they reinforce the story you want to remember and the standards you want to uphold. Fourthly, timing in teams, schools, and organizations. When extends timing from individual habits to systems, arguing that institutions often schedule against human biology and then wonder why performance suffers. Pink discusses how meeting times, shift schedules, and school start times can either support or undermine attention and learning. He encourages leaders to think in terms of task type and audience energy. Analytical reviews, negotiations, and detailed decision meetings may work better when participants are mentally sharp, while brainstorming and idea generation can be better placed when people are more relaxed and open. The book also suggests that organizations can reduce errors by paying attention to when fatigue peaks and by building recovery into the day. In educational settings, the timing of exams and the structure of the day can affect outcomes, especially for teenagers. Pink uses timing research to argue for later school start times and smarter scheduling of demanding subjects. For health and safety, timing matters in shift work, medication routines, and treatment adherence, where mismatches can create risks. The overall theme is not perfection but alignment. Small scheduling changes can improve fairness, reduce mistakes, and lift performance without major cost. Timing becomes a management tool, not an afterthought. Lastly, practical tools for choosing the right time. A distinctive feature of Pink's approach is turning research into decision guidance readers can apply quickly. Instead of treating timing as abstract theory, the book offers ways to diagnose personal patterns and decide when to do what. The tools emphasize awareness first, track energy and mood across several days, note when you make avoidable errors, and identify when you feel most patient, creative, or decisive. From there, the logic is to protect high-quality time for high-stakes tasks. Pink also encourages readers to recognize the time-of-day risk factors for certain behaviors, such as impulsive eating, harsher judgments, or rushed decisions, and to create safeguards. He discusses the value of breaks and how their structure can matter, including the importance of moving, social connection, and brief psychological detachment. Another practical angle is using temporal landmarks to increase follow-through, such as committing at a fresh start and designing milestones that make progress visible. While the specifics depend on the person and context, the tools share a common mindset: treat time as a variable you can engineer. By experimenting with timing, readers can often get better results from the same effort, make healthier routines easier to maintain, and reduce the chance that important choices are made at the worst possible moment. In conclusion, when is best for readers who enjoy evidence-based self-improvement, productivity, and decision-making, including students, professionals, managers, educators, and anyone trying to build better habits without relying on pure motivation. It is especially useful for people who feel inconsistent, strong one day and foggy the next, because the book reframes that experience as predictable rhythm rather than personal failure. The benefit to a reader's life is practical. By aligning demanding work with peak alertness, reserving low-energy windows for routine tasks, and designing smart breaks, many people can improve output and well-being without extending their day. The ideas about midpoints and endings can also strengthen long projects, helping readers plan check-ins that reignite urgency and finish in a way that improves both outcomes and memories. Compared with similar productivity books that focus on tools, hacks, or mindset alone, When stands out by emphasizing a neglected lever, timing, and grounding it in widely discussed scientific research. It offers a framework that complements any task system you already use. Buying this book is worthwhile because the return can be immediate. Even small schedule changes can reduce errors, increase focus, and make routines feel more natural rather than forced. If you would like to support Daniel H. Pink, you can buy the book through the Amazon link I've provided in the podcast description. After reading the book, please let me know what you think and share your thoughts. See you around.